Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Book Notification Podcast, your go to source for this week's new book releases. Today, we're looking at the week from April 13th to 19th. With over 450 new books released in this week, there is no way we could cover them all. Visit booknotification.com to explore the full list of this week's new books. You can also follow your favorite authors, so you'll be the first to know when their next book is available. As always, we have 10 books to highlight with a little something for everybody. Let's get into it. American Spirits is a love letter to pop music by Anna Dorn. After achieving critical success with her latest album, musician Blue Velour retreats to a remote cabin with her longtime producer, Sasha Harlow, to work on new material when a planned tour is canceled. Accompanied by her newly hired assistant and devoted fan, Rose Lutz, the group's isolated creative environment becomes increasingly unstable. As personal tensions and ambitions surface, the retreat escalates into conflict and betrayal, leading to a defining and irreversible event. American Spirits will be released on April 14th. The Husband Ghost is a new psychological thriller by Lorna Dounaeva. After her husband dies in a boating accident, Minnie begins receiving text messages from his phone that contain personal details only he would know. Struggling with grief, she becomes increasingly drawn into the messages, isolating herself as their tone shifts from comforting to unsettling. As the situation intensifies, Minnie must determine whether the messages have a rational explanation or something more disturbing, and decide how far she is willing to go to maintain the connection. Find The Husband Ghost on April 15th. Three Dark Kings and the Starlit Court is the first in a new romantic fantasy series by Everly Frost. In a world divided by long-standing war between three rival Fey kingdoms, a young woman discovers she is the first oracle born in centuries, a power all three kings seek to control. Raised in secrecy by her father, she spends her life on the run to avoid becoming a weapon in their conflict. When circumstances force her out of hiding, she must confront the three rulers, each representing a different threat, and decide whether to continue fleeing or face them directly. Knowing her choice could determine the outcome of the war. Three Dark Kings and the Starlit Court hit shelves on April 17th. Kill Dick is a literary thriller, Fever Dream, by Luke Goebel. 19-year-old Susie Vogelman lives a detached life of privilege in Los Angeles, supported by her family's wealth and numbing herself with prescription drugs. When a series of murders targeting addicts begin to surface, the crimes appear linked to the same networks that have benefited her family, including her father's involvement in the opioid industry. As suspicion grows, Susie becomes entangled with Peter Holliday, a disgraced professor running a questionable rehabilitation scheme. Together, they navigate a network of corruption and influence that exposes the systems sustaining both their lives and the violence around them. Kill Dick will be available on April 14th. Cold Justice is the first in the Frankie Stone thriller series by Terry Toler. Francesca Costa, the daughter of a powerful and dangerous man, has built a new life under the identity of Frankie Stone, working quietly to help those failed by the legal system. When she witnesses a woman kill her abusive husband in what appears to be self-defense, Frankie becomes involved in the case. As she works to prevent the woman's conviction, she risks exposing her true identity, which could bring her back into the reach of the father she fled. Find Cold Justice on April 16th. Killer Trade is the first book in the Carla Dixon series by Dan Ames. When billionaire Edwin Wolcott is found murdered and a large sum of money is discovered missing, his widow hires forensic financial investigator Carla Dixon to trace the funds. As Dixon follows a complex trail through shell companies and offshore accounts, her investigation leads her into the inner workings of a powerful New York family. The deeper she goes, the more the case shifts from a financial inquiry to a dangerous search for a killer who may already be aware of her pursuit. Killer Trade will be released on April 13th. Siren is a new horror novel from Matt Drabble. Ray Blake joins a small crew tasked with testing a luxury yacht owned by a powerful businessman, hoping the job will help him achieve his goal of opening a bar with his friend, AC. During the trial run, the crew rescues a stranded survivor whose account of events seems implausible, but soon proves relevant. Isolated at sea and unable to communicate with the outside world, the crew faces a threat capable of assuming different identities, creating confusion and mistrust among them. As conditions deteriorate, they must determine how to identify and stop the danger before it eliminates them all. Siren will hit shelves on April 15th. The House in the Tuscan Hills is a dual timeline romance from Anita Chapman. In 1944 Italy, Liliana's engagement to her childhood love is disrupted when war injuries leave him unable to recognize her, prompting her to leave for England while keeping a secret tied to an opal ring she believes brings misfortune. In the present day, her great niece Jen inherits the ring and a house in Tuscany, leading her to investigate her family's past. As she uncovers connections between Liliana's story and her own life, unexpected claims and revelations challenge what she believes about her inheritance and family history. The House in the Tuscan Hills will be available on April 13th. Fake Dating Irish Style is the first in a new series by Michele Brouder. In a small Irish village, Aideen Sheehan is overwhelmed with family responsibilities after her father's recent health scare, including handling an unusual request no one will take on. When she crosses paths with David Gallagher, a reserved man who prefers to keep to himself, a simple favor leads them to a series of misunderstandings. As circumstances push them into a fake dating arrangement, their interactions begin to blur the line between pretense and genuine connection. Fake Dating Irish Style begins on April 19th. Finally, we have Dear Monica Lewinsky by Julia Langbein. At 40, Jean Dornan is still affected by a relationship she had as a college student in France in 1998 with a professor. When he contacts her years later, she revisits her old diaries and re examines that period of her life, which coincided with the public scrutiny of the Lewinsky scandal. As she reflects on her past with a mixture of guilt and confusion, she imagines guidance from a figure modeled on Monica Lewinsky, prompting her to reconsider her younger self, the nature of consent and power, and how her experiences shaped her life. Dear Monica Lewinsky will be released on April 14th. That's our 10 books for this week. Until next time, you can check out booknotification.com. Book Notification offers an easy way to track your reading lists, follow your favorite authors, and never miss a new release. Our website is completely free to use, and it's packed with features to make your reading life easier. You can follow your favorite authors and get notified whenever they release new books. We send out an email every Tuesday with a list of fresh releases from the authors you love, but that's not all. You can track your reading progress, mark books as read, rate and review them, and even import your data from Goodreads, Calibre, Libby, and more. Want to discover something new? Check out Reader's Roulette for book recommendations, or use our personalized book release calendar to stay up to date with the latest titles. You can even tag books with custom labels, just like on Goodreads shelves, and get tailored recommendations for what to read next based on your current book. Whether you're looking for books in publication or want to see them listed in chronological order, we've got it covered. Plus, all of our authors are audited by real people, so you know the information is accurate. So why not give it a try and join the thousands of readers already using our site to stay on top of their reading game. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back next week with another 10 books.